Question, Sherry. There's nothing currently in this plan that addresses that specifically. We have walked through and talked through that in the past, and there are certain things that we can take as far as, putting in, not blinds, like tint on the windows, things like that. So that would certainly be a part of phase 2 of enhancing security around here. This is our first step, but super question, and one that we won't lose sight of. No. Jenny was asking if we had ever priced out a metal detector for the entrance, and the answer to that is no. Janet.
Are there other churches in the Bloomington area that are looking at this?
There are, I think every church is looking at security in different aspects and different time frames. My family and I worship over at St. Michael's, and we've had closed circuit cameras there for years and years. We also had a security guard on Sunday mornings that was armed, and that's gone by the wayside. That's not very welcoming. But yeah, all the communities that I have talked to are looking at security at some aspect or another.
Did this review also look at cybersecurity?
We did have some conversation on cybersecurity. Of most interest right now was the physical security for the building, but in fact we were just having a discussion this evening about a possible FEMA grant next year we might apply for that would address cybersecurity for the church. So that's definitely on our radar as well, just not part of this plan today. Sherry.
One other thing, we were just in Nashville, and in my granddaughter's preschool, they have 2 officers with guns standing at the door, and they also have one at the church. A lot of the churches have officers standing at the door during Sunday morning services. Is that anything we looked at?
No, not at this point in time. Oh, sorry. Sherry was commenting that, was it your daughter? Son in Nashville. At the school down there and at their church, they have armed guards standing security. And are we looking at that here at St. Stephen? And the answer to that is not today. Yes, Mary Jo. No, if we have determined that we want to keep the front doors locked at all times and then buzz to let people in, that won't be a problem because we'll have a camera in place that you can smile and wave at and buzz in, and then at the office or the welcome desk we would allow you then entry. If we haven't gotten to that point yet, then they will be unlocked during business hours, and we will have somebody at the welcome desk to greet you. So either way, we won't have a problem letting you in. I would let you in anytime, Mary Jo. Anybody else with questions? All right. Well, thank you for your time on this part of the presentation. And I will now turn this over to Seppi Sevchak to talk about technology. And this is a really cool bit of tech.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. If you don't know me, it's a good thing because I'm supposed to be behind the scenes. Nobody should ever know who I am. I jumped in at the beginning of the pandemic to help St. Stephen's become a live streaming church. And before I even get into all this, if anyone wants to see the current state, Mr. Seth has been helping us out really well. Just look underneath the desk and you'll see a lot of hanging cords and little devices that are literally dangling. That was all supposed to be temporary. Well, now we're going on 4 years later here, and it's still there. That was never built to be a live streaming place. So live streaming has become a part of St. Stephen. We now do have around 200 viewers a week of our live stream, and as the pastors can attest to, we have new members that have come to the church because of that. So we have become a live streaming church. That is a part of our ministry now every Sunday. So trying to solidify that, and if I get hit by a bus, have another person come in and be able to understand those hanging wires and what they are would be a good thing. What I've learned in the IT world is that if you don't know your IT person, then that means it's working well. So we would like to get this place to that point. The online person, trustworthiness. These projectors are more than a decade old. Large venue projectors are not cheap. I think we'll get to that part, but as you can see, they're not the brightest. We actually these have dual bulbs, and we have both bulbs turned on 100% brightness, and that's the best we can do. So we don't want to put the church in a position of having to replace those right before the next Sunday, so I don't know if we can really quite make that happen. So we'd like to be in a better position to support worship and maintain those ministries. Yeah, and the last bullet point is the temporary piece. I really suggest people go and look underneath the desks because it is abysmal. It's like not cleaning my house before letting people come over for Thanksgiving. It's absolutely terrible. So, multiple failures. Anyone who's used our live streaming service, people have noticed there has been a few Sundays where we've had to send out apologies because it just has not worked, but we have done a really good job. So a few Sundays ago, maybe a month ago, I can't remember now, the live streaming PC actually died, and we have a new PC in there, thankfully. I just installed it on Monday. So we are back online and we're healthy now, but again, we need to be a little more trustworthy there. Adding some modern features would be good also. The center camera there is actually a professional camera. The Legacy Committee purchased that for the church, and it works really well. The two side cameras that you can also see up there, those are cheap, non-branded cameras that were purchased very short term quickly during the pandemic, and they do not work well. Every Sunday, Seth and I have to reset the console communication to work them. Like, they don't maintain their memory week to week or day to day. So it would be nice to replace those with the professional one and not have to do that every Sunday morning. Old video switcher. Again, it's old tech. We can open up the back of the AV booth if people want to see it. It's a rat's nest of cables. The amplifier, it is a Bose amplifier that's actually been in the church for a long time, I think since the church was built. And if anyone remembers the old speakers, there were big wooden boxes. They're very nice. When we did the remodel in the sanctuary, we went to these nice Bose. That amplifier is a very nice amplifier. It works well. But we now have it split out to the narthex and to the columbarium, and to the pastors have a speaker, and there's also a speaker for the choir loft. That little amplifier is not designed to do all that, so we do not want to burn it out. So we'd like to get a second one and split that out and make it correct, so we don't have to burn out the current amplifier. So, and no wiring diagram. In the AV IT world, professional setups like that have wiring diagrams, so you don't have to text Seppi on a Tuesday afternoon asking how to get a projector working. So this gets into the why. How does it move our worship, connect, and serve vision forward? Again, that connected online community, that's kind of a part of who we've become at St. Stephen. Physically unable to attend in-person members. I just recall during the pandemic, multiple members that watched Sunday service, worship service on their boats in the summer, things like that. That is now possible. That's a part of our community and what we do. Remotely attending funerals. We've been live streaming almost all of our funerals, I think. And then again, that seamless supporting of worship. And new members. I think Pastor Tom can say some anecdotes about some new members that have started from our live stream and stuff if we want to too. So costs. I kind of lumped all these together. We can get into details. Property committee will go through and get multiple bids and do all the pieces after the capital campaign if this goes through. Essentially, that's a list of a lot of the pieces. Cameras, camera controller, video switcher, amplifier. The narthex speakers are actually 3 different brands using 3 different voltages, so we'd like to replace those to a single one, again, to get it to a trustworthy level. Choir mics, organ mics, congregation mics. In a live stream, if you ever watch, it becomes slightly awkward to not hear the congregation in a live stream. Like, it goes very quiet. Bigger churches that have live stream capability, they usually mic the congregation at a small level. We would like to do that as well. 2 wireless mic receivers. We have a lot of these really good mics. They're really nice. The pulpit and altar mic share the same receiver with 2 mics, so when we have bigger events, choirs or any of those things, we are always short mics. So it's just, we're not going to buy new microphones, but it's just to split the mics that share receivers would be that piece. Soundboard rewiring. Seth and I have done a little bit already, but we'd like to completely redo that and make it, again, much more trustworthy. The columbarium piece as well. The projectors, so we can be up to date on those. Connecting the chapel and activity center, that's actually a very cheap piece. It's a single network cable. We actually used to have that capability, and that was just lost in a couple of the rewirings. And then, as you can hear my echo, with the new Bose speakers, these are not the same as our old speakers, and they're not designed for this space. These are large venue speakers, adding sound absorbing panels to the back of the sanctuary, so we don't have that echo as much. So, and the timeline, again, it's very vendor related, so we'll be figuring that out if this moves forward. So. The question was, is a new soundboard including that hardware? No, it's not. This soundboard, I think it was brand new right before or with the sanctuary remodel. And this is actually a really good soundboard. This more than adequate. This is an amazing, wonderful soundboard. Seth does this professionally at multiple locations, and we have a very good soundboard. Some of the wiring to it is not the best, but the soundboard itself is wonderful. Yes?
Is the technology in the chapel adequate, or funding to upgrade that if it's not?
The question was, is the chapel technology adequate? And if not, is there funding for it? It depends on who you ask. It works. It's not great. We did replace the projector and the screen during the pandemic. The PC, I believe, is still old. It would not be very expensive to bring it up to standard. I don't know that I included it on there, but I think we were going to get a the rear facing, that's called a confidence monitor for speakers. Our projector here, that's a cheaper projector, which for Christmas and Easter, we have the one in the narthex. That one is shared with conference rooms B. We would like to purchase another one so we don't have to keep moving it back and forth. We could very easily fix up the chapel at the same time. It would not be very difficult. Yes? The question was in the on-air sign new. It's been there since the pandemic. I think Julie Magnus bought that for us as kind of a half joke. That was when we were pre-recording during COVID. And that was kind of our sign of, hey, we should be quiet because we're actually live streaming and doing that stuff. So it stayed. Hopefully it's not too intrusive to people, but it is nice to see, especially if you're up here, that, hey, we are live on YouTube right now. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Any other questions?
We're planning to add an applause sign too. Isn't that right? Is that part of the budget?
I love it.
Laugh now? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm available. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Feel free to ask any staff. They can contact me as well. Really just trying to keep the place going. Sunday worship is very important to myself and my family. We've been here a lot of years. Our kids went to preschool. So having this place working seamlessly and nobody noticing the AV booth is a good thing. We want to be smooth sailing. So thank you. I appreciate everybody's time.
Just a caveat, I don't know how we would have made it through the pandemic without Seppi stepping up. We should have changed your name to Steppy because you stepped up like no one I'd ever seen, and we were in 30 hours able to cobble together a live stream presence when we couldn't be together, which was just like amazing. So that kind of stepping up is what we're hoping to see in the next couple of months too, as we step up and get some of these really important things done that we need to do as a congregation. And so thanks for all the hours that you put in, and thanks to Paul for all the things that we rely on Paul for. And we still have 2 of these left. We'll do one repeat of what you heard tonight, and that's on Sunday morning. No. Oh, this one's done. Yep. So a week from tonight. Am I right? December 10th. Or 13th. 13th. Yep. Well, you'll see a notice, but you'll hear about the parking lot. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, too, with Pam Anderson, as well as our solar initiative. So stick around for more information. These are exciting times. Yep.
Sunday, December 10th is the first one.
Yep, Sunday, December 10th at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the 13th at 6:30. So I thought that was a repeat of this.
Nope, those are parking lot and solar.
Okay. Yep. All right. Anything else? Go in peace. Serve the Lord. Drive carefully. Enjoy the great weather.